There's a new national champion in college basketball. Kansas knocking off UNC to claim its fourth title in school history. That was Monday night. Last night, like 12 hours ago, because the game started so freaking late. Nearly matching the amount of level 1 NCAA violations the program is under investigation for as well. The Kansas City Jayhawks, Mark Emmert's words, not mine, have the third best odds now in the country to win it all next year on the DK Sportsbook. That's tied with Kentucky and BFF's Duke and North Carolina, by the way. The only two teams with shorter odds. Samir, make your way over to the big board. Look how beautiful that graphic is that Howard made up. Careful, watch out for all the cords, dude. You're a little nervous this morning. It is good to see everybody here today. I am Emerson Lancia. You are watching The Sweat right now, presented by DraftKings. I would like to bring in a couple other hoop heads here, though, to kind of get their thoughts on last night. We got some big Nick energy in the house. DraftKings contributor Nick Friar, and we got Mr. RotoWire's Nick Whalen in the house. I'm sorry, Friar, that is a frightening background. That is Bukes, and it looks like a 12-year-old Garion Thorne.
I don't know. I thought they were professional-looking pictures. You know, I know they're doing the baseball segment today without me, so I just wanted to make sure. It makes me feel like I'm with them today.
Well, it's absolutely what nightmares are made of. Friar, though, I got a question for you. How'd Kansas win this thing, overcoming like the largest halftime deficit here for a national champion?
Yeah, I mean, look, we all love to see a good comeback, whether it's over a long haul of a season or in a short game. Although I would say that one of our coworkers, Julian Edlow, probably didn't love the way that it turned out, because I'm sad to see Kansas did not cover for him in the end, because they were -4 when he wrote up his article for DK Nation. So I was a little bit upset about that. Never like seeing him get a pick wrong. But in the end, I'm just I would have liked seeing UNC win this in Coach K's last season. Kind of would have been a nice little like cherry on top, but at the same time, they still knocked him off. And I'm never going to complain about UNC and Duke not winning.
All right, Whalen, from controversies to comebacks, I mean, this truly was the perfectly imperfect title run.
Yeah, it really was. And, Kansas, I think, has the type of roster that we've seen succeed year after year after year in the tournament, where you have a mix of kind of some underclassmen, some upperclassmen, some transfers and Remy Martin. That's kind of how you build the type of team that not necessarily sends a bunch of guys to the NBA, but succeeds at the college level. And, honestly, like 2 rounds into the tournament, I look back and like, why did I not have Kansas going all the way, at least to the national championship game? Like the path that ended up being laid out for them, really came perfectly. They played a 16 seed, a 9 seed, a 4 seed, a 10 seed, a 2 seed in Villanova without its second best player in Justin Moore. And then obviously a very good North Carolina team, but a North Carolina team that was still an 8 seed in the national title game. So things broke really well, I think, in Kansas's favor. Obviously didn't look like it was going their way at halftime, but man, tough to win a game when arguably your 3 best players in RJ Davis, Caleb Love, and Armando Bacot go 13 of 54 from the field in that game. I thought UNC panicked quite a bit in that second half when Kansas started making their run. They tried to get it all back, one possession at a time, and it came back to bite them.
Yeah, good for Bacot actually making it out there, though, with that ankle injury. Looked pretty good, just dominating the first opening minutes, really opening 20 minutes. But, yeah, UNC kind of just disappearing just a little bit. Tight game, but Kansas, poster child, no doubt, for the era of asterisks in college sports. Mighty kind of the NBA, though, to take off last night, guys, and let the college game kind of take center stage. Tonight, however, we got a juicy 12-game slate, so let's talk about it. A lot of playoff races to monitor, leading up to Sunday's regular season finale already. So which guard tonight, as we start our building block segment, has building block potential, Whalen?
Well, there are a few. When there's 24 teams in action, there's going to be a few directions to look. I find myself gravitating toward Kyrie Irving on this slate. He's expensive. He's at $10,600. He hasn't been quite as good as he looked as a part-time player. Maybe having like 6 days between games was actually beneficial to him, but gets a really good matchup against the Houston Rockets team that is 30th in defense, 29th in pace since the All-Star break. And it hasn't really mattered who the Nets have matched up against because they're not that good of a team right now, other than Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. This is like a C-level supporting cast. So even when they're playing teams that maybe don't have quite as much top-end talent, they're still able to hang around. That's resulted in Kyrie Irving playing 40, 45 minutes even, on a near nightly basis since he became a full-time player. So for fantasy purposes, that's been fantastic. If you want to go a little bit cheaper, a couple other names I like, Darius Garland gets a good matchup against the Orlando Magic. Devin Booker at 9,300 against just a pitiful Los Angeles Lakers team. CJ McCollum, 8,700, goes up against a good matchup in the Kings. And then on the other side of that Houston-Brooklyn matchup, Jalen Green, 7,400, 4 straight 30-point games for the number 2 overall pick. He's been over 41 DraftKings points in 5 straight games. And the Brooklyn Nets are a bottom 10 defense since the All-Star break.
Lot of choices here, Friar, in the guard department. Who's one that you are definitely going to build around?
You know what's funny is there's a lot of choices, but at the same time, Nick and I are in lockstep on this one that we both like Kyrie Irving. He's the one that jumps out. He's getting more minutes, and I understand full-time player not doing as well, but we're still seeing that volume. He's going up against a bad team, and now no Seth Curry tonight as well. You hate to see the Nets trying this whole rotating roster over the course of the season and see it not work out for them at all. Again, another thing that just breaks my heart today. I guess that's the theme. But you brought up Darius Garland, Nick, and to me, Karis LeVert is actually the guy though that I want to roster in that game. Get a little bit more savings, of course. When we're looking at the high price guys, I understand Garland being there, but LeVert, they still need to have guys scoring, and he's been stepping up a little bit of late. In the Cavs, we talk about teams needing to play for something. I know the Cavs are in a really bad spot. We thought they were going to make be a good team in the postseason, and all these injuries have made it kind of tough. We'll see how they bounce back physically with Allen and Mobley, but for right now, they got to lean on LeVert, and they're still trying to fight to at least have that top spot in the play-in tournament.
Friar, your dude Marcus Smart ruined Steph Curry.
Well, did I say Steph? I meant to say Seth Curry. But yeah, he did. But I mean, the guy plays hard, and I don't think he should apologize for it. And anybody who wants to criticize for him, like you, Emerson, you need to look yourself in the mirror.
What are you talking about? I'm just pointing it out. I'm just pointing it out here. I know, Whalen. I can't believe this. You see this?
Very accusatory.
This is where I know he's done too many segments with Buchanan, Whalen, because now Friar has become the bully on this program. So, Whalen, I'll start with you here. Who was a forward worth building your lineups around tonight?
Yeah, I just feel like an innocent bystander here. If you want to start at the top, you got Giannis at 11,800. He's destroyed the Bulls in virtually all their matchups this season. Milwaukee has owned that, I guess, semi-rivalry in the Central Division. So worth paying up if you feel like it. But obviously with 24 teams in action, you have plenty of other options. Pascal Ciaco is somebody I found myself rostering a ton this season. He has been awesome since coming back from that early season injury. He's at 9,400 going up against an Atlanta Hawks team that is 26th in defense since the All-Star break. They're still finding ways to hang around. They're still finding ways to win games, but that defense has not been good. And if you want to save a little bit more money, Alperen Sengun finally getting the minutes that season-long fantasy players have been clamoring for virtually all season. Foul trouble is an issue with him. It's never a guarantee that he's going to play 35 minutes. Turnovers are an issue when it comes to his final DraftKings point tally. But, I mean, he is a fantasy point per minute machine when he's out there. Christian Wood's done for the season. Sengun has 43, 28, and 40 DraftKings points over his last 3 games, respectively.
All right, Friar, what are you doing in the forward department, dude?
I really like that Sengun call from Nick, but I also like Brandon Ingram tonight at 8K going up against the Kings. I know from a volume standpoint, it's gone down a slight bit since he returned from his injury, but he's still getting like 11 to 17 shots per game, still getting to the free throw line a ton. But while he's gotten some less shots too, and less assists as well, we've seen the rebounds numbers tick up a little bit for him as late as well. And of course, the Kings, anybody playing the Kings, you don't need me to tell you on them that much. I mean, 27th in defensive rating, they're 8th in pace. And again, I know the Pelicans, they're pretty kind of cemented where they are in the postseason in terms they're going to be in the play-in tournament. They're going to be one of the lower 2 teams. But if they want to secure a home court advantage, they need to win tonight in this game because the Spurs are, of course, right on their heels.
All right, Friar, as for center, I mean, we got like 3 of the best on this slate tonight. Jokic, Embiid, I mean, Cat's in there. Are you going to be spending up here at this position?
Yeah, so I do have some saving options, but I can't go against Nikola Jokic in this one tonight. He's coming off of 4 consecutive 70-point DK fantasy point games, which I know is like kind of run-of-the-mill for him. And of course, at this price tag, it's not like you're getting like 10 times value from him when he goes and does something like that. That said, this is a team that he's done well against, the Spurs. They don't do well against opposing bigs. So I just look at it and say, well, in the Nuggets too, they do have something to play for because they are, kind of in a comfortable spot outside of the play-in tournament. But again, the Timberwolves are right there, 2 spots down, not far behind them. So this isn't like a game that they can kind of just coast in. While it should be an easy win for the Nuggets in some capacity, the Spurs are still fighting too, as much as, the Lakers are pretty much done. But then if you want to look for some savings, I think Andre Drummond at 6.8K. Of course, we're hammering this Nets, the Rockets game quite a bit. I think, that's a decent one. I would like him more if he's a little bit cheaper, but still, I think he can return 5 times value in this one tonight. He's been solid of late. And then Kevin Love at 5.7K going up against the Magic, to another team that's brutal against bigs. And again, Cavs hurting numbers-wise.
All right, Whalen, how expensive are you looking to go here at center?
Well, first of all, I like the Kevin Love call. If you watched any of these recent Cavs games without their two, big men in Allen and Mobley, it's been pretty comical how they're, Lauri Markkanen is basically playing the 5. Kevin Love has to play the 5 at times, but it's resulted in a nice minutes jump for Kevin Love. So that's a good call and a good matchup. Center is a place where I think I could save a little bit of money tonight. You can even get Bam Adebayo, who I always love rostering at 7,900. Very good price for him. One of the best matchups in the league for big men going up against the Hornets. It's a bad defense, big time pace up game for Miami, which is one of the slowest pace teams in the league. Charlotte top 3 in pace since the All-Star break. If you want to go even cheaper, and I can't believe that this guy's actually priced where he is. He's up at 6,800 now. Isaiah Roby. We get a rematch of the Isaiah Roby Drew Eubanks showdown from I think this time last week. Roby had 55 DraftKings points in that game. I mean, that's an anomaly for him, obviously, but he's still playing a ton of minutes for a team that seemingly has like 7 guys available at this point. He's been over 30 minutes in 5 of his last 6. The production's been solid, not great, but goes up against one of the best matchups, if not the singular best matchup in the league right now in this depleted Portland Trailblazers outfit.